My boyfriend gave me a nightmare proposal and called me a gold digger, so I threw away his engagement ring, and he went hysterical. I am feeling a little down after my boyfriend's recent proposal. I said yes, but I was a bit disappointed in the ring. Even when we started discussing marriage, I told him I absolutely 100% wanted to be involved in picking out or designing the engagement ring. And since we both have good jobs, I would even put some of my money down to get a ring I love. What I ended up receiving was a 0.20 carat round solitaire diamond. A few things I told him about the ring and that round diamond solitaires on a plain band weren't my idea of an engagement ring, and it feels like he went out of the way to get me everything I didn't want. I also told him that because I wanted a bit of a bigger stone, I would pay for some myself, and he also ignored that request. I know this part also sounds bad, but he was also very excited about the proposal, and in the end, it felt anticlimactic. The whole year, he said he would wait to propose around Christmas time when all the lights are up around town and everything feels magical. There is a cute little Victorian-era themed town just a half hour away from where we live, and that is the most special place in the world to me. This town always goes all out on Christmas for decorations and theming. It is the most charming and magical place I have seen, and we go for walks there all the time on weekends. Now, I feel I'll just be sad when we go there, and he sort of went out of his way to ruin that for me as well. That was my dream engagement. He said he would make me feel like a princess at Christmas time. He knows how much I love the royal Christmas movies, and instead just proposed in the bedroom before we got up for work. So when my boyfriend came home from work, I sat him down gently after we had both finished our dinner, and explained to him that while I couldn't wait to be his wife, there were some things I would like to go over with him in regards to the ring and the proposal. He immediately concluded that I was a selfish gold digger, and how right his mother was about me. I know it doesn't seem very mature of me. Still, I laughed in his face like, bro, you're calling me a gold digger. Meanwhile, we make the same amount of money, and I come from a wealthy family. So, I have more money than you, and ought to call you the gold digger here. I tell him he's ridiculous for not allowing me to spend my money on my engagement ring, and that I wouldn't feel hurt if he wanted to do the same for himself. Still, then he starts shooting off some bullpoop about how women aren't allowed to decide what their engagement ring looks like, or when and if a man decides when he wants to marry them, or how he's going to propose. At this point, I am screaming because I tell him it's effing free to drive me to the town I've dreamed of getting proposed to for ages, and it's free to look at Christmas lights and go ice skating. He tells me that my expectations are too high. I tell him to get the F out of my face for being that damn lazy and selfish. Of course, mommy has to barge into my gratefulness and tell me how ungrateful and selfish I was towards her precious boy. I warn her gently that if she comes anywhere near me, I'll rip her hair out and push her down to the floor. I've never felt that angry in all my life and didn't know I had it in me to stick up for myself like that. But then she started screaming at me that I wouldn't dare and how she'd sue me. And I told her I'd claim self-defense and tell the judge that not only was she trespassing, but willingly threatening me in my personal space and harassing me. She initiated the physical contact first by actually hitting my arm, and I reacted by spitting in her eye. She starts to shake and starts developing these pathetic crocodile tears and screams for her son to get her. Effing baby acting like a tough beach all these years resorts to that the moment someone dares to stick up for themselves in her presence. There's shouting and screaming on everyone's side, and I just call the police. My ex immediately tells them this is his house too, and the officer looks at him. His mother, in disbelief, shakes her head and asks, "This situation is already out of hand. I must ask you and your mother to leave for at least a day or two until everyone calms down." Then I threw the ring past both of their heads when they were heading to their car. The last thing I hear my ex screaming is, F no! Because God forbid, he loses his effing $700 piece of garbage diamond ring that immediately depreciates to $200 the moment it slipped on my finger. He thought he could get all his money back for that thing.